Before Dracula, there was her, a beautiful girl who appeared only at night, a girl who whispered love into the darkness, and every person who fell in love with her died slowly. This is the terrifying tale of Carmilla, the vampire who haunted a lonely castle deep in the forests of Austria. Thunder strikes, slow piano music, distant wolf howl. Deep inside the dark forests of Styria, Austria, stood an ancient castle surrounded by silence. Inside that lonely castle lived a young woman named Laura. She had no close friends, no neighbors, only her father, a few servants, and endless woods stretching into darkness. But Laura carried a terrifying memory from childhood, a memory she could never forget. When she was only 6 years old, she woke in the middle of the night and saw a beautiful young girl standing beside her bed. The girl slowly climbed onto the bed, smiling softly. At first, Laura felt calm, but then she felt two sharp pains near her chest. Laura screamed in terror. Servants rushed into the room with candles, but the mysterious girl had disappeared without a trace. Everyone believed it was just a nightmare, but Laura never forgot the girl's pale face and glowing eyes. Years later, one peaceful evening, Laura and her father sat outside their castle watching the sunset. Suddenly, a violent crash echoed through the forest. A horse carriage had overturned near the castle gates. The servants rushed outside and discovered a beautiful young woman inside the wreckage. She had pale skin, dark eyes, and a strangely calm expression. Her name was Carmilla. A nervous older woman, claiming to be Carmilla's mother, begged Laura's father to care for the girl for a few months because of urgent business elsewhere. Before anyone could ask questions, the woman disappeared into the night, leaving Carmilla behind. The moment Laura looked into Carmilla's face, her blood ran cold. It was the same girl from her childhood nightmare. And somehow, Carmilla seemed to recognize Laura too. At first, Laura felt excited. Finally, she had a companion her own age. Carmilla was intelligent, charming, and incredibly beautiful. The two girls quickly became close, but strange things soon began happening inside the castle. Carmilla slept most of the day and became active only after sunset. She avoided church prayers and became irritated whenever religious songs were sung. Sometimes servants reported hearing footsteps moving through the halls late at night, and often Laura caught Carmilla staring at her with an intense, unnatural expression. One night, Carmilla gently held Laura's hand and whispered, "You are mine, and I am yours forever." Laura felt strangely attracted to Carmilla, but deeply afraid of her at the same time. As days passed, Laura's health began to weaken. She woke each morning exhausted. Her skin turned pale. Dark shadows formed beneath her eyes, and every night, she suffered horrifying dreams. Dreams of a giant black creature crouching beside her bed. Soon terrifying rumors spread across nearby villages. Young women were dying mysteriously. Healthy one day, dead the next. Doctors found no explanation. The villagers whispered only one terrifying word: vampire. But Laura's father refused to believe such stories, until one horrifying night. Laura awoke unable to move. A massive black cat-like creature stood on her chest. Its glowing eyes stared directly into hers. Then slowly, the creature transformed into Carmilla. Laura felt sharp pain near her throat, and everything went dark. The next day, workers brought old family portraits into the castle. Among them was a painting over 150 years old. It showed a noblewoman named Mircalla Karnstein. The moment Laura saw the portrait, she froze in horror. The woman in the painting looked exactly like Carmilla. Same face, same eyes, same smile. Impossible. The portrait was centuries old, yet Carmilla showed no fear, only a mysterious smile. Not long after, a grieving man arrived at the castle. General Spielsdorf. His young niece had recently died from the same strange illness affecting Laura. When the general described the mysterious woman who had stayed with them before his niece died, Laura's heart nearly stopped. The woman's name had been Milarka, Mircalla, Carmilla. Different names, but the same person. The general explained how he once entered his niece's room late at night and witnessed a horrifying black beast feeding on her blood. When he attacked the creature, It transformed into the beautiful woman named Milarka and escaped into the darkness. Now the general wanted revenge. Together, Laura, her father, and General Spielsdorf traveled to the ruined Karnstein estate, an ancient cursed place abandoned long ago. Villagers believe vampires once lived there. An old woodcutter warned them, "The dead do not sleep in Karnstein." Inside the ruins, they suddenly saw Carmilla standing among broken stones and dead trees. Her eyes burned with hatred. The general drew his sword and charged toward her. But Carmilla moved with unnatural speed and vanished into the shadows. At that moment, the horrifying truth became undeniable. Carmilla was not human. She was the ancient vampire countess Mircalla Karnstein. A vampire hunter named Baron Vordenberg helped them search for Mircalla's hidden grave. Deep beneath ruined chapels and cold underground tunnels, they finally discovered the coffin. Slowly, they opened it. Everyone froze in terror. Carmilla lay inside, perfectly preserved. Her skin looked warm. Her lips were stained with fresh blood. Though dead for centuries, she appeared alive. Then suddenly, her eyes opened. Priests began chanting prayers loudly through the tomb. General Spielsdorf raised a wooden stake and drove it directly through Carmilla's heart. A horrifying scream exploded through the underground chambers. Blood burst from her body. Her beautiful face twisted into something monstrous. Then they cut off her head and burned her remains to ashes. Finally, the nightmare ended. The mysterious deaths stopped. Laura slowly recovered from her illness, but she never truly escaped Carmilla. Years later, Laura admitted that sometimes during the silence of night, she still heard soft footsteps near her bed, and sometimes she still dreamed of Carmilla's pale smile waiting in the darkness, watching, waiting, hungry forever. Some monsters don't hide in shadows. They hide behind beauty, charm, and love. And once they enter your life, they never truly leave.